In today's video, we're gonna be making these delicious sweet plantain cups that are stuffed with ground beef. Yes, you heard me. They're the perfect combination of savory and sweets, and not to mention, they're Puerto Rican. So let's get into it. Hello, mi gente, and welcome back to Nata Knows Best. I'm your host, Nata, and in today's episode, we are making
Piononos.
What are
Piononos?
They are these Puerto Rican appetizers that I absolutely love. They start off with some sweet plantains that are nice and ripe. You're gonna fry them thin, and then you're going to actually form them into like a little cup that you then stuff with some seasoned beef picadillo, and you bake them. Or you can fry them, but oh my God, are these things so amazing. So for the ingredients, you're going to need some picadillo. If you guys are looking for a good picadillo recipe, you can check mine out. I'll link it down below for you. You also are gonna need some ripe sweet plantains, and then you're gonna need some eggs because that's gonna be the binder to your
Piononos.
And then that's all you need. So let's get right into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut and peel our sweet plantains. If you guys have watched most of my videos where I've made plantains, you already know I start off by cutting off the tips. Now that I have them nice and peeled, what you're going to do is slice them horizontally until you get long strips, just like so. Ideally, out of one sweet plantain, you should get roughly 4 to 5 long strips. So you just want to make sure that you're watching your knife as you're gliding it on top, so you get that perfect slice, just like this. All right, so I finished up slicing our sweet plantains, and the next step is to actually fry your sweet plantains. So you're going to shallow fry them in a frying pan. You're gonna add some canola oil or some vegetable oil, and you're going to heat it to roughly medium heat. So I'm gonna go ahead and fry these up. And you just wanna get them to a nice golden brown, almost caramel color. You're gonna wanna fry them up about roughly 4 to 5 minutes on each side to make sure they're perfectly soft in the center, but they have a nice crust to them. All right, so I've had our sweet plantains cooking for roughly 4 minutes on one side. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip them over. Did you guys see that color? That's exactly the type of color that you're looking for. So it's a nice like golden brown, but it also has like a caramel tone to it. So I've finished frying up our sweet plantains, and I've had them resting on a plate along with some paper towels just to absorb some of that excess oil. And now we're gonna go ahead and assemble our
Piononos.
So here I have a muffin tin. I find this to be the easiest way to do it because it actually holds the shape. So what you're gonna do is grab one of your sweet plantains, and you're going to wrap it around the mold, just like so. And then in the center, just like I did here, you're going to add a bottom. So while I'm making these, if you're thinking to yourself, not that these flavors remind me of a pastelón. Well, you're right. These are the exact same ingredients that you would use in a pastelón, just these are a mini version. So this recipe is great for making small appetizers or little like bites that you can have at a cocktail party. They're super delicious, and obviously you still get the full flavor that you would of a pastelón, but you're getting it in a little bite-sized portion, so it's like fit. And now that I finished assembling our piononos, I'm going to fill them with my homemade picadillo. This is my famous picadillo that is made with, of course, my sofrito. So you're just going to generously fill your plantains all the way to the top. Don't be greedy. So like I mentioned, I will be linking the recipe for my picadillo in the description box below. However, I will also be linking this entire recipe in that same description box. It'll also be posted on my website, which is of course nataknowsbest.com. So don't forget to check that out. because it's gonna have all the ingredients and all the measurements that you're going to need. And now that I finished filling our piononos, I'm going to add a few eggs that I've whipped up over on top of it to make sure that it kind of like holds that shape while it's baking. Because typically you would fry these, but I'm not a fan of double frying the plantains because I don't really feel like it's necessary, and it's also messy. So to make it easy, I'm just going to bake them. So you want to make sure that the egg mixture actually soaks in, because that's gonna act as the glue to holding its shape. And don't worry if it like runs out, because it'll just soak back into your mold just like you see right here. And last but not least, as a little garnish, go ahead and sprinkle it with some cheese. Now this is optional. I've seen several piononos made without the cheese on top, but if you really want it to taste like a Puerto Rican pastelón, then I definitely feel like you should add the cheese. So I'm literally just adding a little sprinkle of it. And this is also gonna help the egg set and give it a nice cool topping.
And now I'm just going to bake our piononos for 25 minutes.
All right, mi gente, so I've officially finished. I took them out of the oven, I let them cool, and now it is time for me to dig in. They're really good. I'm obsessed with these because they literally are the perfect combination of salty and sweet. Everything you think of when it comes to a pastelón is in this and just in one bite. These are so delicious, and I know you guys are gonna love them. So I will be linking this recipe down below. I will also be putting it on my website, which is nathaknowsbest.com. Stay tuned for next week for another delicious recipe. And as always, mi gente, thank you so much for watching. Natha Knows Best.